Welcome back, everybody. And today I'm back with the NextMug. This is a heated coffee mug, kind of like the Ember mug I tested out 3 years ago, a little bit like the Thermo Joe I tested 2 years ago, and this one seems to have some features of both of them. So let's see how it works in today's video, starting with the unboxing. All right, let's take a look at the NextMug. I paid $100 for this. It currently has a 4.3 star rating on Amazon, and it's an Amazon's choice. They say it's the perfect temperature-controlled self-heating mug. There's some tips for use. User manual. Not sure. Put something white below this so you can see it. Let's see what's in this box here. We have an adapter. So here is the unit itself. They say it is a temperature-controlled 14-ounce self-heating mug. No app required. They say you can select from 3 temperatures. Right down here, we have warm, hot, and piping. Warm is supposed to be 130, hot 140, piping 150. Now they say this can be used with or without the docking coaster. Includes a 6-foot cord and a spill-resistant lid that also helps keep the heat in. Now, a lot of people online said they liked the fact that it had no app, but some people said the battery wasn't as good as they claimed. That will be easy to test out. So I'm gonna charge this up and then get started. All right, after washing this off and going through the instructions, here's a few more details. There is a button right here that you press, and when you press it, it gives you your battery indicator. It came fully charged, don't have to charge it up first. And when you turn it on, it starts to the warm setting. If you keep pressing the button, you can go to hot and piping. And if it's blinking, it means it's in the process of warming up. Now it's supposed to be 14 ounces, but someone on Amazon said it wasn't. That's easy enough to test out. I have exactly 14 ounces of water. Let's see. It's almost all the way to the top, but it is holding 14 ounces, so it is a 14-ounce mug. All right, so while I have it full of room temperature water, let's see how long it takes to warm it from room temperature up to warm. The thermometer is 76 degrees and it is 76 in here. So that is an accurate reading there. So I'm going to hit the button now. It's set to warm and it is blinking. I got the stopwatch going. I think their warm setting is supposed to be 130 degrees, so we'll see how long it takes to go from 76 to 130. I stopped it at 50 minutes because here's what I noticed. I was kind of checking this every like 10 or 15 minutes or so. It got up to 105. It never got up to 130. Last time I checked, it was starting to drop down again. So I looked and I noticed that the light here was off. So I went over here to push the button thinking maybe it timed out or something. And as you can see, it's blinking. So the battery died. It showed 3 bars. Maybe it wasn't fully charged, but 3 bars is, according to their chart here, 3 bars is supposed to give you 2 hours without the lid. It didn't get up to 130. It only lasted less than an hour. So I'm gonna charge this fully. Maybe it wasn't fully charged. It showed 3 bars, but maybe not. So this was just the first test. I'm not sure I'm really impressed by the first test. It didn't last an hour, even though the battery showed it full, and it didn't get up to 130. So I'll fully charge it, and we'll try again with some more tests. So let's charge this up before we go too much further here. Now, to charge it up, you plug in the base. Base is plugged in. When you place the mug on the base, it starts blinking to show that it is charging. So I'll fully charge this up, and then tomorrow we'll come back with our first coffee test. Good morning. It's just before 6 a.m. Seems like about once a year I find myself out in the backyard testing out a mug like this. Good morning. It's a little after 6 a.m. here. Morning routine for me. Tossing the ball to Bailey. Good morning once again. It seems like it was only last year I was out here with a heated cup of coffee going through my busy morning routine. So this is my real world test of the NextMug. I put coffee in here about 10 minutes ago at 140 degrees, and I turned it on the hot setting, which is 140 degrees, so it should stay this way. I'm gonna drink a little bit of it now, then I'm gonna have some dog time, take my morning walk, and then leave this, and hopefully it's still warm when I get back. Normally, if I were to do that, it would be kind of lukewarm by the time I got back, but hopefully not with the NextMug, and we'll see what the battery life is like too. I do kind of like having a lid on there, it kind of keeps it protected. Bailey likes it too. What do you think, Bailey? Bailey doesn't like the lid. Bailey wants no lid so she can drink out of it. Now in the past, when I did the Ember mug and I did the Thermo Joe, I left this outside while I did my my morning routine, but today I'm gonna leave it inside because it's so hot. It's supposed to be 118 today. I think when I checked this morning, it was almost 100 degrees at 5:30 in the morning. So I'm gonna drink half this now, dog time and walk, and then I'll come back and see how it's held up. Ooh, it's warm out here already. It's only like 6:30 in the morning. You know, I am a morning person, but I'm not the kind of person that wants to jump out and go exercise first thing in the morning. I only do it because it's so hot outside the rest of the day. I know I could get a treadmill indoors, but I kind of prefer to be outside walking, so this is the only time to do it. So the NextMug with the coffee in, it's on my table. By the time I get back, it'll be right at an hour. It should still be 140 degrees. We shall see. They say with a lid on it, it should last several hours. So 1 hour at 140 shouldn't be a problem. So let's head home and check it out. Wow, it's warm out there. I had to change my shirt. I'm kind of sweaty. But here we go. It's been a little over an hour. So let's check the temperature and see what we've got. This is a half a cup of coffee, and it's like we're right about 143 degrees, so just a tad warmer than it's supposed to be, which that's not really a bad thing, I guess. I should point out the outside of the mug really isn't that hot. Look at the thermometer here. It's only in the mid-90s in there. So it's certainly not too hot to handle. I checked it before my walk. It was right at 140, so I think it's doing a pretty good job. Now, I don't really feel like drinking any more hot coffee after that long hot walk. So what I'm gonna probably do is just leave it on. I'm gonna see how long it maintains this 140 degrees before the battery goes dead. Their chart says with the lid on, it's supposed to be 4 hours. They say 4 hours, if you can read that, 4 hours. We're only an hour in, so that means I got 3 more hours and keep this hot. Let's see. It's 7 a.m. I'll come back, I'll probably check on every hour just to make sure it's still staying warm. It's showing a full battery, so we'll just leave it right there. And maybe at 10 a.m. I'll feel like finishing my hot cup of coffee. So I'll keep an eye on this and let you know if anything changes. All right, so I've been checking this every hour. At the 2 hour mark, it was completely perfect at 140. 3 hour mark, it cooled off. I noticed the light was off. Current temperature is still about 130, so it must have just gone off. So we're gonna say it lasted about 3 hours. How about a sip of my 3 hour old coffee now? It's still nice and warm. It's not as hot as it was before, but it's still nice and warm. I don't know, is that a failure? They say 4 hours in the instructions. If they had said 3, I would have said it was a success. I feel like the instructions overshoot a little bit, but I don't think you're gonna be having your coffee sit that long. And that's with the battery. With the coaster, it would go indefinitely, but I don't know. I think 3 hours is still pretty good to keep it 140 degrees, and it was pretty consistent. Some of the other ones I've tried over the years, they'll be way off. This was really within a couple degrees of what it's supposed to be. Their chart aside, I'm gonna say it was a success. If you recall the first test I did, I was trying to go from room temperature water up to 130 degrees, but the battery died. So now I've got it on the charging coaster, so that will not be a problem. Let's try this one more time. We have 75 degree water. I put it on the warm setting. The green light is blinking, so it's charging and warming at the same time. The stopwatch is going, so now we'll find out exactly how long it takes to go from room temperature up to 130. At the 34-minute mark, I have an interesting update. Check this out. We're really pushing 130 degrees already at 30 minutes. What's interesting is that the battery died before it had a chance to even get above 105. On the charging coaster, after only half an hour, it's already 130, so that's the way to go. The charging coaster is more efficient. So now we know, without the charging coaster, it might take a while to get 130. With the charging coaster, maybe about a half an hour. Let's wrap this thing up now. As far as the NextMug goes, when I think about how this compares to the previous heated mugs I've tried, to me it's basically an Ember mug that doesn't use an app. Now you can use the Ember mug without an app, and the Thermo Joe doesn't have an app, but to me, I found the NextMug to be the easiest one to use without an app compared to the other two. The NextMug battery I think lasted longer than the others. It comes with a lid. The Ember mug charges extra for a lid. The Thermo Joe did have a lid. Now of all 3 heated mugs I've tried over the years, I would say this one's probably the most accurate temperature-wise. So I would say if you want a heated coffee mug that goes to the exact temperature, or if you want to use an app, you've got to go with the Ember mug. If you don't want to fuss with an app, or if you like the 3 temperatures provided by the NextMug, 130, 140, 150, then this is an excellent choice. And Thermo Joe, sorry man, you're still at the back of the line. But that's all I've got. If you've tried the NextMug, the Ember mug, or something like it, tell me what you think in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.